Why do the foolish actions and words of others still provoke your irritation? You remind yourself it's unworthy of attention. Yet your chest tightens, your jaw clenches, and anger surges within. This isn't a profound betrayal, but mere trifles, a sarcastic tone, a dismissive shrug, a careless remark that shatters your moment of reflection. You never sought this confrontation, yet your inner peace has been shattered, taken by someone oblivious to their impact. Understand this clearly: their lack of wisdom is not your burden to bear, but in your reaction, you hand them the reins of your composure, not through their strength, but through the authority you've surrendered. Now is the moment to reclaim it and sever this chain. You've sought this guidance because you're ready to cease raging over insignificant matters. You seek mastery not over the chaotic world, but over your responses to it. That is true power. That is mental clarity. That is genuine liberation. The ancient Stoics held that no external force can wound you without your consent. Today, let's harness that timeless philosophy in our contemporary lives. You will discover how to maintain serenity of mind amid the world's absurdities. You will master responses befitting a man of authority, refusing to be ensnared by trivial provocations. Know that you stand among many. Every resilient man grapples with this inner battle. If exhaustion from yielding to folly weighs on you, seize this opportunity to ascend. Engage with this video, like it, subscribe, and pass it to a fellow seeker of tranquility. Let us commence. First, discern the recurring pattern before it dominates you. Your outbursts aren't triggered by a single foolish comment. They erupt from the accumulation of the 50th such slight, unnoticed in its gradual build. This is the snare that entraps most men. You believe your reaction is immediate, but in truth, an unseen load has burdened your shoulders throughout the week. The mental clamor during work hours, the disregard at home, a delayed flight, an offhand remark, these you dismiss repeatedly, until one additional folly unleashes the flood. Boom. Composure fractures. Yet anger doesn't manifest spontaneously. It adheres to a discernible cycle, one you've overlooked through inattention. Thus, vigilant awareness becomes your primary safeguard, a stoic shield against the storm. Anger is not haphazard. It is rehearsed. You rehearse it daily by permitting minor irritants to pass unresolved. And in your eruptions, it reveals not fortitude, but excess, a loss of command, a seepage of resolve. Each explosion over the trivial fortifies that destructive circuit. Tension builds in silence. Pressure mounts. Eruption follows. Then remorse ensues. This relentless loop persists until you label it, monitor it, and dismantle it decisively. Envision your psyche as a fortified dam. Neglecting minor fissures allows unseen forces to amass below. Invisible they may be, but their presence erodes. Then, a mere trifle, a feather's touch, shatters the barrier. Blame not the feather, but the unchecked flaws. The true culpability lies in the fissures you failed to examine. So, to cease fury over follies, commence, thus pinpoint the catalysts that erode your restraint. Observe your routines with the precision of a seasoned tactician. In which moments does impatience peak amid traffic snarls? During deliberations? In dawn routines with family? Or at a spouse's specific inflection? Document them meticulously. Assume not that memory will suffice. It falters under pressure. True self-insight demands active strategy, not passive drift. This distinguishes the impulsive responder from the deliberate commander. Yet many err here, declaring I possess a fiery temperament as if it were an immutable trait. Such is mere evasion, not core identity. Rage does not encapsulate you. It is a permitted repetition you can override through disciplined will. The Stoics termed this enslavement not to others, but to one's own impulses. A man unable to govern his tongue under provocation is ruled, not ruling. That is not authority. It is vulnerability masked by clamor. So, redirect your focus instead of dominating the external realm. Commence by scrutinizing your internal responses. Attend to the instant your physique shifts, shoulders tense, breath quickens, jaw locks. These are harbingers. Inhale deeply. Retreat a step. Refuse the trigger's dominion. You are no marionette. You are the architect. Each interruption of that cycle, even once, lays the foundation for emotional sovereignty. To halt rage over absurdities, anticipate folly without ambush. Prepare and stand ready. Identify it, and upon its arrival, embrace it not with dread, but with a knowing smile. For now, you command not fleeting emotions, not those inanities, solely you, resolute, steadfast, unyielding. Monitor those provocations. Surrender no authority. Second, grasp the true source of your ire. It transcends the spilled coffee, the sluggish driver, the colleague's inflection. The apparent spark masks deeper embers within you. Most men overlook this, conditioned for reflex over reflection. When trivialities ignite explosions, the core issue lies not in the incident, but in its symbolic weight, disrespect, loss of command, buried strains, unmet aspirations. That is the authentic conflict, the subsurface tempest. Anger seldom speaks truth. It arrives mislabeled, scapegoating the proximate, yet beneath. It often veils shame as wrath, or fear as vexation. You don't bellow at the faulty remote. You rail against the day's unraveling grip. Your patience hangs by a thread, life slipping from grasp. You don't lash at your spouse for a forgotten errand. You vent because your vocation devours you. Unrecognized burdens mounting. This, the Stoics profoundly comprehended. Emotions are not adversaries, but they deceive when unexamined. Pause and interrogate. What truly fuels this fury now? Is it this instant or the amassed residue? Many men conflate anger with potency, deeming loud roars as dominion. Nay, authentic dominion names the concealed verities amid the din. It acknowledges that what you label others' folly mirrors your own disillusionment. The Stoics warned, fail to govern emotions, and they govern you deceptively so. You roam, snarling at existence, fancying strength, yet merely provoked. Consider it as pent pressure in a boiler, absent release. A slight nudge detonatus. Such is your daily reality. You internalize all superiors' slights, providers' failures, the fatigue of perpetual fortitude. Then a minor spark ignites. You detonate, later deeming it absurd. Yet it is predictable, for roots remain unaddressed. Fault, not the spark. Mend the fuel source. This entails journaling genuine afflictions, not feigned ones, tracking stress levels over sarcasm or outbursts, and it means electing lucidity over haste. You are not frail for feeling overwhelmed. Frailty lies in permitting unchecked emotions to dictate deeds. Be the man who probes his psyche, not the one blindly raging. Next time flames stir within, trace not to extinguish, but to unearth the veritable cause. For in naming the authentic origin, you reclaim dominion. Then, anger transforms from cage to courier. Decode it. Then, advance on your terms. 3. Cease personalizing all. 80% of perceived hurts lack intent. Your superior's email. He grapples with deadlines. Your spouse's silence. She contends with deeper matters. The driver cutting in. He scarcely noticed you. Most affronts you sense echo your own expectations. Personalizing invites effortless peace loss. That is not strength. It is emotional bondage. Anger arises when you tether self-worth to every utterance. Tone. Glance. It's akin to wandering with open wounds, blaming the world for brushes. Yet the commanding man requires no gentle gestures. He doesn't crumble over omitted greetings. He doesn't rage at raised voices. He knows his essence, and that suffices. The Stoics named this fortitude, apatheia, not apathy, but self-mastery, the capacity to remain unshaken by uncontrollables, not detachment, but dominion. Herein most men falter, viewing minor slights as personal assaults, their ego fragile, shuddering at shadows. A workplace gripe spirals them downward. A home misunderstanding detonates. But your sentiments needn't bow to others' every word. Let them speak. Let them act. You exist not to retort, but to guide yourself foremost. Envision a boulder amid a raging river. Waters batter ceaselessly, yet it stands immovable. It takes no offense. Become that when you cease interpreting through defensive lenses. Become that when realizing others project their pains, not targeting you. It's not about you. Never was. Now implement when someone snaps. Withhold retaliation. Breathe. Observe. Query. What is this truly? Does it pertain to me mostly? No. Journal those instances, if needed. Patterns emerge. Once seen, you cease victimhood to unseen wars, not yours. Mastery isn't silence. It's discerning when silence embodies power. It's electing non-engagement with every jab. In ceasing reactions to barbs, you respond with presence. That's the shift from emotion-driven to wisdom-guided. Personalize naught. That's boyish living. Men discern what to absorb, what to discard. Practice daily. When condescension arises, pause. When rudeness from strangers, smile not from weakness, but unassailable strength, knowing your worth. Let not noise command your mind. Let not hurt steal your day. Refrain from personalizing. Assume responsibility for responses. Therein, true power ignites. 4. Query yourself. Will this matter in 5 days? Your mind amplifies minor woes under stress. A colleague's unanswered email. A driver's reckless merge. A spouse's offhand dinner. Remark these flare into crises in your mind. Suddenly, trivialities morph into battlegrounds. Your psyche weaves dramas, fuels emotions, and before you realize, you're reacting as if a spark ignited dynamite. Yet here's a truth. Most men overlook in the heat of the moment. These fleeting irritations rarely endure beyond the moment. Ask yourself, Will this vexation linger in 5 days? Most often, it won't. Yet, your mind, under strain, magnifies the insignificant, turning pebbles into boulders. Pause and weigh its true consequence before letting it seize your peace. The Stoics taught us to focus only on what lies within our control, our judgments, our responses. The external chaos, it's transient. By fixating on the trivial, you cede your power to it. Reclaim it by asking, does this merit my energy? Or is it a fleeting shadow I can let pass? This simple question realigns your perspective. It's not suppression, it's discernment. You're not ignoring the issue, you're choosing its weight. A man who masters this doesn't let every slight derail him. He navigates life with purpose, unswayed by the world's petty provocations. Practice this daily. When irritation stirs, pause. Ask, will this matter in a week, a month? This isn't avoidance, it's strategic clarity. You're training your mind to filter noise, to preserve energy for what truly shapes the man you're forging. 5. Master the pause. The moment between trigger and response is your battlefield. Most men rush to react, letting anger steer. But the disciplined man lingers in that space. He breathes, he reflects, he chooses. That pause is power. It's where you seize control from chaos. Consider the last time a fool's words sparked your fury. You felt the urge to snap back, to assert dominance. But what if you'd waited? A mere second of restraint can shift the entire encounter. You don't just react, you dictate the terms of your response. This is Stoic wisdom. In action, you cannot control others' folly, but you command your reaction. Each pause strengthens your resolve, like steel tempered in fire. It's not about silencing anger, it's about ensuring it serves you, not the other way around. Train this reflex. When provocation strikes, halt, inhale deeply. Let the moment stretch. In that space, you're not a victim of circumstance, you're its master. You decide if the slight warrants your fire or if it's beneath your dignity to engage. This discipline transforms you. Each pause is a deliberate act, a choice to align with the man you aspire to be. It's not passivity, it's command. You're not fleeing the fight, you're choosing which battles define you, refusing to let trifles erode your strength. The Stoics knew this true power lies in governing the space between stimulus and response. By mastering that moment, you dictate your path. You don't just endure provocations, you rise above them, forging a mind unyielding to the world's petty chaos. So, make the pause your fortress. When irritation flares, stand firm in that silence. Evaluate, decide, act with purpose. This is how you cease being a slave to fleeting angers. This is how you embody the Stoic ideal, unshaken, deliberate, free. There is no ease in pausing. Indeed, greater fortitude demands restraint over eruption. Roaring is simple, sustaining calm when every fiber urges response that forges character. Such moments sculpt you. Each pause hones discipline. It sharpens resolve. It restores command. Thus, cultivate the habit of pause. Render it instinctive. Next surge of ire. Withhold action. Utter naught. Eshu haste. Own the interval. Forge the reflex of deliberation. Then, solely then, proceed with intent. Thus you transcend petty rages. Thus you command yourself. 6. Establish boundaries to avert disillusionment. Your anger stems not from others' excesses, but from your indistinct perimeters. Permitting unchecked entry into your emotional domain invites disruption. Reflect on your time, vitality, focus, how much squandered, absent defined limits. We anticipate intuitive comprehension from others of acceptability, yet clarity is our duty, not theirs. Men sans standards react. They do not lead. Boundaries aren't barriers against others. They're sieves preserving mental fortitude. A boundaryless man resembles an unarmored warrior. He absorbs all blows, endures every strike, ultimately collapsing. You consent to detested tasks, endure draining dialogues, tolerate hurtful conducts, then wonder at explosions over minutiae. Such ire is no accident. It's the culmination of tolerated trifles from fear of seeming rigid or self-centered. Yet passivity breeds no kindness. It fosters resentment. None respects the man seething beneath a grin's facade. The Stoics grasped this. They governed not others, but personal thresholds. Marcus Aurelius wasted no hours placating fools. Epictetus sought no validation. They discerned their domains from the external. That is authority. It commences with declarations. This I accept. This I reject. Sans drama. Sans débat, pure discipline. Examine reality, colleagues. Dump urgent tasks because refusal eludes you. Friends jest caustically at dinners. You laugh past discomfort instead of forthright address. Clients ring at 10 p.m. You answer, prizing deals over self. That is not strength. It is capitulation. Endurance erodes tranquility. Setting limits isn't rudeness. It's authenticity. You instruct treatment through tolerances. No arguments needed. No shouts. Merely consistency. No calls post 6. Speak not thus to me. Not my duty. Concise. Lucid. Resolute. Each defended boundary fortifies emotional discipline. Blame not transgressors for crossing unmarked lines. Expect not folly's cessation. Expect your own intolerance thereof. Disappointment dissipates with clarity's emergence. If recurrent ire plagues, bound it over venting. Resentment signals, heed it, trace it. Then institute personal edicts. Your reason rests on your criteria. Peace isn't others' charge, it's your demarcations. Thus, draw lines and stand firm. 7. Employ humor as pressure release. Laughing at absurdity claims victory, not altering circumstance, but transforming self. Ire diminishes as mirth ascends. You evade not issues, you temper them. Most men traverse life as primed explosives. A foolish utterance, absurd missive. Reckless driver suffices for detonation. Yet humor isn't frailty, it's astute emotional governance. Clarify, you laugh, not deeming it fine. You laugh, deeming your serenity paramount over irrationalities. That is authority. The Stoics knew waste no effort reforming the circus, declined clownhood therein. The modern man, bearing career, kin, expectations weights, cannot forfeit reason to the unworthy. Naught dispels strain like timely chuckles or subtle headshakes. Recall the last absurdity incensing you, now envision spectating it as comedy skit. That shift empowers, transitioning from participant to observer, from offended to amused. grants advantage. You expend no retort energy. You evade traps. You preserve acuity. Focus. Poise. Elite athletes wield humor under duress for reason. Firefighters. Soldiers. Physicians, those intolerant of faltering, employ it not for escape, but tension relief. Fatigue erasure. Humanity retention amid turmoil. No need for boisterous jests. Subtlest humor, silent smiles. Murmurs like surely jesting, or internal grimaces. Not indifference, but mastery. Distinguish from sarcasm or veiled barbs those leak emotions disguised. Nay, we speak strategic detachment, postural shift, unprovoked, trained. You withhold energy from folly. You nod, inhale deeply, perhaps grin faintly, then proceed. Thus warriors operate. They rage not at path pebbles. They surmount and advance in explosive worlds. Restraint rarefies, yet humor wields your keenest blade. It reminds not every skirmish warrants engagement. Not every fool merits reply. Oft, mightiest stride is chuckling, shaking head, resuming quest. That is governance. That is emotional might. So next, worldly, surely jesting moment, SQ detonation. Smile. You exist not to amuse their chaos. You exist to command your calm. Respond as the man you aspire to embody. Your responses forge or fracture the self you cultivate. When folly speaks from ego or ignorance, choice looms, fuel, flames, or temper control. Most men ignore how readily power slips not to monarchs, but jesters. You permit workplace fools, poor drivers, dinner prattlers, to puppeteer your emotions. That is not strength. It is submission veiled as wrath. Society deings true manhood swift retorts, fierce counters, unyielding stands. Yet the room's strongest reacts not hastily. He selects responses. He forfeits not control as others do. This aligns Stoic ethos bar external world from dictating internal state. Muscles demand repeated lifts for enduring strength. So too, emotional discipline repetition, habituation, selection, each entrapment, each composure loss, each outburst rehearses weakness. Now invert in vision provocations met with pauses. Master silences. View follies not wrathfully, but distantly. Not apathy, but supremacy, like exiting tempests while others drench. You evolve unshakable, unexplanatory, steadfast amid whirling chaos. This isn't passivity, it's tactical. Anger may justify, but blind fury, mere noise. Do responses erect or incinerate your edifice rather than explode? Compress. Hold firm. Decide, merits this my vigor, aligns it with my becoming. Internal voice amplifies with purposeful over emotive choices. In life, this manifests in assemblies, commutes, bonds. You escalate or anchor tensions, merge with folly or transcend. Picture the father entering domestic tumult, youngsters shrieking, spouse strained, phone incessant. Former you, irritable, noisy, volatile. Present you, serene, composed, anchored. For you react no longer from ego. You lead via identity. You govern not mere moments. You exemplify mastery. Your pinnacle version silent, focused, emotion immune, And it initiates with one choice. Respond as the man worthy of remembrance, not the one felled by pressures. Thus, next, trivial vexation, yield not. Deny it purchase. Maintain stance. Contemplate the self you forge. Then act as if he already occupies the space. Each ire surge tests. Discipline, not punitively, but refiningly. You won't abolish anger instantly, yet responses train like sinews. Elect silence over blaze, clarity over disarray. The tranquil man evades not stress. He confronts with command. Recall, responses shape your evolution. You build not mere emotion management, but character. Emotional mastery signifies no weakness. It embodies authentic strength, forged via consistent minor acts. Daily awareness. Lucid, intense, thoughtful replies. Employ today's insights as your training ground. Log daily provocations. Breathe pre-speech. Query if impending response befits your aspired self. That is the path. That is veritable power. If this resonates, carry it through your week. Practice it. Hone it. Own it. And if anger once prevailed, or you chose calm instead, share your tale below. Your growth may ignite another's journey.